Judge scolds nurse for wearing scrubs in the courtroom. Her response? It leaves everyone standing and clapping. You will not disrespect this courtroom with your unprofessional attire. Judge Harold Bennett's voice echoed powerfully across the wood-paneled courtroom, instantly silencing the murmurs that had filled the air. Everyone's attention shifted immediately to the woman standing before the bench, a nurse in blue scrubs, her hands slightly trembling but her chin held high, exuding strength. The atmosphere was thick with tension. Who was she? Why was she here? And why was the judge so angry over something as trivial as her clothing? But in a matter of moments, this nurse would say something so impactful, so powerful, that the entire courtroom would erupt in applause. It would leave the judge completely speechless. But before that could happen, she first had to withstand his fury. Her name was Emily Carter, a trauma nurse with 12 years of experience. She was no stranger to high-pressure, life-or-death decisions. She had spent years in the chaos of the ER, her scrubs stained with blood, her hands holding onto the hands of the desperate, offering comfort during the darkest moments of their lives. She wasn't accustomed to the formality of a courtroom. She was used to saving lives, not defending them with words. But today, she had no choice. Her patient, a young boy named Miguel, had been struck by a drunk driver. The driver's high-priced attorney had started twisting the facts, painting a false picture that Miguel had run into the road carelessly. Emily knew the truth. She had seen the driver run a red light, causing the accident. She had to speak out. She had to testify. There was just one problem. She hadn't had time to change out of her scrubs. The bailiff had hesitated when she walked in, his eyes wide with uncertainty. "Ma'am, you can't," he started, but the trial had already started, and there was no time to waste. Without a second thought, she made her way to the witness stand as the prosecutor called her name. That's when it happened. The judge's icy glare. "Miss Carter, are you aware that this is a courtroom, not an emergency room?" His words cut through the air, like a blade. Laughter rippled through the gallery, and Emily's face flushed with embarrassment. The judge leaned forward, clearly irritated. "Your attire is completely unacceptable. This is a place of respect." Emily clenched her fists on the edge of the witness stand, her pulse pounding in her ears. She could feel the eyes of everyone in the room on her, and she noticed the defendant smirking smugly from his seat. The prosecutor cleared his throat, sensing the rising tension. "Your Honor, Miss Carter is an absolutely crucial witness." The judge, not backing down, shot back. Then she should have dressed like one. But then, something shifted inside Emily. Her eyes locked on Miguel's mother, sitting in the front row, tears streaming down her face. Her heart tightened with empathy. She couldn't hold back anymore. Something inside her snapped. The judge let out an exasperated sigh, clearly frustrated. "We'll take a recess, so you can change, Miss Carter." But Emily stood tall and, with a steady voice, replied, "With all due respect, Your Honor, no." The room gasped in shock. Emily's voice was firm, unwavering. She pointed at the bloodstain on her sleeve, the evidence of her long shift in the ICU. This is Miguel's blood," she said, her voice cracking slightly. "I came straight from the ICU, where he's fighting for his life right now because of him," she added, turning her gaze toward the defendant. She paused for a moment, gathering her strength. "You want respect? Respect isn't about wearing a suit or sitting in a courtroom. Respect is about showing up. It's about telling the truth, even when it's hard. So no, I won't change. Because this," she said, gesturing to her scrubs, "is what honor looks like." For a moment, there was nothing but silence. And then, as if on cue, the room erupted in applause. First, Miguel's mother stood up, her hands raised in support. Then the jury followed suit, standing in unison. The entire gallery was on its feet, clapping and cheering. The judge, his gavel forgotten in his hand, sat back slowly in his chair, stunned into silence. After a long pause, he finally spoke, his voice softer, almost reverent. "Proceed, Miss Carter." As Emily took the stand and testified, the defendant's arrogant smirk slowly faded. The truth was undeniable. When she stepped down from the stand, even the bailiff gave her a quiet salute, a sign of deep respect. Sometimes, respect isn't about the clothes you wear, it's about the courage to stand in them. If this story moved you, hit that like button and drop a karma in the comments below.